Good evening, everybody, and welcome to What's Up, Cuz? I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin. He's hyped up tonight, clapping in the background, the coach himself, Lancey Irvin. What's up, cuz? How you doing?
Always. I'm doing great. In the words of my pops and my mother, Louise Irvin, bless their souls. If you gonna do it right. Do everything with passion and energy. Let's go get it. I'm doing great on this Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
I'm sure you wrote some great articles.
Yeah. I've been busy, man. I've been writing a bunch of stuff for a bunch of different subjects, and just happy Martin Luther King Day to you too. As those of you who've seen Coming to America know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, the holiday is here. It's a day of service, and also a great day of NBA action. We got the Bulls tipping off tonight. They're playing against the Houston Rockets, who don't have James Harden anymore. And James is happy about that.
You know what? Let me ask you about my city of Houston, cuz. Just let me ask you. Deshaun Watson, is he going as he's saying? I don't know. James Harden left. What's going on with H-Town, cuz? I mean, they got warm weather. They got us there. They got a great city. What's going on in H-Town? I need you to break this thing down for me. Come on.
I'm not from H-Town. I don't know what's going on down there.
You're a journalist. You a journalist, period. You know what's going on in Houston.
I mean, they got a lot going on. The baseball team cheated to a championship. They got a bunch of stuff going on down there in Houston, man.
Dusty Baker, and I mean, come on, Jay, talk to me. Dusty gonna be the only relevant one down there.
I know, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Houston's gonna do going forward.
With that, you didn't know it's gonna come out with that.
I did not. So let me welcome the people to the show for you.
Hey man, welcome them so I could get back to this subject because you're gonna tell me something.
So thank you everybody for watching What's Up, Cuz. If you're tuning in on the SportsZone Chicago app, we appreciate that. If you don't have the app already, you can go ahead and download it. Well, where can you download it? Easily. You can download it on Google Play. You can download it from iTunes. You can download it on Amazon. And that'll also give you access to all the other shows here on SportsZone Chicago. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, we appreciate that. And remember, you can always be interactive with the show as well. Go ahead and ask your questions or post your comments there on Facebook Live. And we'll try to get them up and get through as much stuff as we can. And we got a good show for them tonight. Tonight, we got a good show. We got Davis and Davis is what I'm going to call them. So coming up at 6:30, we have the host of That Davis Show, our good friend, Ken Davis. He's going to talk to us all about what's going on in Chicago sports on this MLK holiday. And then coming up at 7 o'clock, a real special guest, the head men's basketball coach at the University of Detroit, Mercy, Mike Davis. Mike Davis joined us at 7 o'clock, and Mike can talk about a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
Hey, Mike brings the fire. Watch how Mike gonna come out here and start talking about politics, sports, civil rights, entrepreneurship. I mean, Mike grew up in the 60s, so talking Mike and civil rights. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I gotta start off this. I done show my girl my shirt. How do you spell fun? How do you spell fun, Jay? How do you spell fun?
F-U-N?
Hell no. You flunk spelling it. You the past spelling. Hell, how do you Jay, come on, man. You grew up with me.
Oh, yeah.
How do we spell fun in the Irvin household? You don't know?
That could be a whole lot of different ways.
W-I-N, win. That's how I spell fun. I have been able to spell fun a lot lately, but man, that's W-I-N. I got to get my girl Maya one of these shirts. Maya, how do you spell fun? W-I-N, Maya.
There you go.
Man, you got to get your mind right. You don't have your mind right to start the show off.
It's been a busy week, okay? I've had a lot of stuff going on.
Always busy.
I got people invading the Capitol. I'm worried about, are we going to have a country left by next week? I mean, what you want me to do, man? You know what line of work I'm in.
Hey, you're one of the best. That's why I do the show with you. Now, don't have me break out Maya and Corey Irvin now. You need to get your mind right. Focus. Okay. Then you come out here with the Bulls shirt on.
Yeah, I did come out with my Bulls shirt on today. I think they kind of need a little help. The Bulls right now, they kind of got an up and down season going on right now. But I got to give you credit, man. You was right on about your boy Patrick Williams, man. He got some talent.
Hey, Jay, one thing I know about I understand this game. Patrick Williams, like I said, Jay, he was 19, 6'8", 6'9", versatile player, scored inside and out. I saw that man up live and personal. And the stuff he was doing, watched him on tape, saw him run up and down the floor. He was a lot faster than I gave him credit for, but he can handle the ball also. So it's just a matter of time with his youth. Give him some experience with Billy Donovan over there coaching, with my man Maurice Cheeks, who we need to get on the show.
Yes.
So Mo Cheeks, if you're listening, please come holler at us.
Right.
But I think the sky's the limit. Plus, they just got marketing back. So that'll definitely help them, though. But, they starting lineup is under 25, Jay. So it's just going to take some time for them to get used to playing with each other again. Kobe White is having a good year. And I tell you what, Zach is making a loud scream. Put me on an all-star. Zach, we got to win some more games now. But
Zach got to play some damn defense too, man. I mean, come on, Zach, you scoring. But you know what? My coaching philosophy is mine. I've never really liked a scoring point guard. Never. I've never liked I like a distributor. I like a Lance Irvin type point guard. I need a field general out there who can get everybody else involved, because what happens is if your point guard just scoring, half the time the rest of the team feel like they ain't involved in the game. And I mean, you don't really see teams with a scoring point guard win the championship.
But you know what, Jay? Those days are basically long gone. Like CP3 averaged like 18 and about 9. So, basically when I played, people was like, you need to shoot more. And I knew then, like, you don't get credit if you play defense and pass these days. You can't get in the
well, let's not even say credit, Lance. Call it what it is. You don't get what if you don't put up scoring numbers?
You don't get paid.
There you go. You
don't get paid. And,
so damn winning the game, I got to get paid.
But you can still do it both ways. Like LeBron James basically is a point guard. He gets like 20 and 9, 20 and 10. So these days, point guards averaging 14 and just looking to pass first, those days over with. You got to be able to shoot, and the game is changing. It's not even about shooting, though. But I think Kobe White is probably a really good point guard for the Bulls. He has size. He's about 6'4", 6'5". He can shoot it from 3. He can penetrate. He's a good passer, and he can guard a little bit. Once he gets a little bit better on that end, then I think the Bulls will take off. But, they have the young group playing, and they moved. Otto Porter's coming off the bench. So, Daniel Gafford is trying to pick it up a little bit. But like it is, at the end of the day, Jay, marketing and Zach LaVine. We'll see how far the Bulls can go.
We'll see. Other topics we got to talk about yesterday or this past weekend, NFL football playoffs. We got the AFC and NFC championship games set up for this Sunday coming up. In the AFC, we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, who hadn't been there in so long. Remember the Ice Cube song? Don't choke like the Buffalo Bills back in the day. So we're going to see who wins that. The NFC, that damn Tom Brady done did it again. And this time I think he might have sent my boy Drew Brees into retirement. We got a photo of Drew Brees we're going to put up. Just showed him after the loss yesterday. That's him. Now, I don't know if he's giving a black power fist and he's telling us what's up, or if he's saying goodbye to the city of New Orleans. But he had a tough year this year physically and getting up in age. Drew Brees might be out of here, man. What's your thoughts on that NFC game yesterday with the Saints and the Buccaneers?
You know what? I was pulling for the old Bucks, Jay, and I had my notes and I did my homework for you, but I can't find my notes. You know what? But I could go from the head almost. But I was pulling for the Bucks. And you know why I was pulling for the Bucks? I'm not going to mention Tom Brady. Everybody understands Tom Brady. Jay, they have 4 black coaches. The associate head coach, black guy. Byron Leftwich, offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, Todd Bowles, African-American. Special team coordinator, African-American. Those guys did a great job yesterday. So it's about time people give them they just do. That's why I was pulling for the Bucks. At the end of the day, they're good coaches. And they had an excellent game plan. They ran the ball 33 times.
They did. And I'm not taking anything away from the brothers in their game plan. But Drew Brees threw 3 interceptions, and then the other dude just fumbled the ball. So they had 4 turnovers. I didn't really think Brady really did anything. I thought New Orleans kind of gave them the game with their turnovers.
You know what Brady did? He managed the game like a veteran quarterback should. He didn't overthink the game. The defense put pressure on Drew Brees. They kept pressure in his face, which they didn't do in the last meeting. The last two meetings, they said, okay, so this game is about making adjustments. People always saying, man, it's hard to beat somebody 3 times. Yes, it is. It is, but it can be done. So they kept pressure on him. And at the end of the day, Tom Brady did what he needed to do. Bruce Arians, excellent. Byron Leftwich, excellent way they called the game. And their defense stood up now. I mean, they had some heat out there, Jay.
They did. No doubt about that. Their defense definitely won that game for them. I was kind of surprised. I thought New Orleans was going to win that game, especially with it being in New Orleans as well. But, it was their third time meeting. And like you say, it is very difficult to beat somebody 3 times.
Why do you think New Orleans was going to win? Because they had one of the best defenses in the NFL?
That they're playing at home. And when Antonio Brown got hurt, too, in the first half, when I saw him looking on, I was like, oh, man, New Orleans in a good spot here. They had the lead. They took the lead early there in the third quarter. So, but next thing I know, Drew Brees was giving the ball to Tampa Bay. So he was doing his Mitch Trubisky impersonation. So I'm like, well, I guess you're not going to win this one. So that's what happened. And then let's talk a little bit about the AFC, too. Oh, my God. Our guy, Pat Mahomes, and everybody in the NFL went, oh, my God. Pat Mahomes looked like he got punched by Mike Tyson and was doing the Trevor Burbick wobbling around. And the thing that I looked at it last, he didn't even get hit hard. I didn't see his hand hit the turf, so I don't know how he got this concussion. It was a very strange play, and you see it on the photo there as linemen's trying to hold him up like, Pat, we need you. But the Chiefs was able to hold on and beat the Browns.
Hey, little did they know Chad Henne was going to be able to come in and do what he did. That's why there's this saying in sports. When your number is called, make sure you're ready. So he came in, he did what he had to do. But I know they sitting there now like, Pat, you got 4 days, baby, to get ready. Pat, come on now. We need you now. Because I tell you what, the Buffalo Bills coming. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen. I tell you what, they had a great year, Jay. I didn't expect this from the Bills.
I did not.
People question Josh Allen coming into the season. Mm-hmm. With that being said, he had excellent year. I didn't expect it, to be totally honest. I mean, I was sitting there like, man, the Bills about to win this thing. And so shout out to the Bills. We didn't even know if they was going to play the season in Buffalo. Seemed like, I don't know, way back when. No, I'm just talking. But they had a great year, though.
They did. It was very interesting. I was not expecting Buffalo to have the season that they had. I do think the addition of Diggs gave Allen a target who he feels confident in and he can get the ball to at any time. And you could just see that help his development. And once your quarterback feels confident, and I think this is the other thing, Josh Allen is taking control of that team. Mm-hmm. He realizes he's the leader. He's got to be the alpha dog in the pack, and they're following him. Mm-hmm. And Buffalo is playing extremely well. And now with Mahomes' injury situation, I'll say this: if Mahomes plays, and he's about 85 to 90% when he plays, I think Kansas City will win. I do think they will win, but I think it's going to be a close game. But if he don't play or he's out there trying to play at 50%, I'd have my money on the Bills.
We'll see. Time will tell. Because, I mean, we get ready. He has 5 days. Well, until I don't know when you have to come out of protocol. Is it game time decision or is it the day before?
So for Pat Mahomes, the NFL will go pull one of them Big Ten moves and get Ohio State in the playoffs. Is what's going to happen. And for Pat Mahomes, the NFL will adjust the protocol because he's the face of the league now. You can argue he's the face of the league. They want him out there. no matter what. So we'll see. We will see. He does have to go into the concussion protocol program, but I'll be able to tell more by Thursday what they're gonna do. But I would lean toward he gonna end up playing.
Interesting, but they have one of the best coaches in America, Andy Reid. So let's see what Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy can come up with if they start not playing. Those guys know to make adjustments. So I won't put it past him. If he doesn't play, I'm still gonna take the Chiefs.
Okay. So you rolling with the Chad Henne train then, huh?
I take Chad. Speed don't lie. Speed doesn't lie with the Chiefs. You know it too. So we'll see. Time will tell.
Time will definitely tell. So we had that game. Then we also had in the NFC the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. They win. They're moving forward. They will be taking on Tom Brady and the Bucs, and we got arguably two of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation getting ready to go at it for a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Both of them have a Super Bowl ring. Green Bay trying to get that back there. Obviously, Brady's been multiple times, but he's never been as an NFC champion. He's always been as the AFC champion. Rodgers, I think this is kind of personal for Aaron Rodgers, being up here in Wisconsin and hearing the chatter. I think he got offended when Green Bay drafted a quarterback. He kind of looked at that like, why y'all trying to usher me out the door?
But Jay, let me ask you this. What's wrong with drafting a quarterback?
Nothing.
Sooner or later, everybody has to step down. That doesn't mean they're taking your spot because they draft a quarterback. What's wrong with getting this guy ready just in case at some point in time, because we all leave. So what's wrong with getting a very good quarterback? Why do you have to wait to the last minute to get a quarterback and you get offended because they get a quarterback?
Well, if you're the general manager or the owner of the Packers, you don't care that he's mad. Okay, because you gotta look out for the best interests of the franchise. So that was definitely a smart move. What I'm saying is, I think Aaron Rodgers, because he's got a little bit of that Michael Jordan in him, where he creates situations to motivate himself. I do that myself sometimes too, so I kind of understand where he's coming from. And he took offense to it, like, "Oh no, y'all, I got years left here, partner. This is my squad. You gonna sit on that bench, my man." So ain't no grooming him. I mean, they blowing people out. They won't even let the dude get in and take a couple of snaps.
But he's getting practice reps. It's like when New England took Tom Brady. They didn't need a quarterback.
Sure didn't.
They just took him. They took him at what?
They had Bledsoe.
They had Bledsoe. They didn't need a quarterback. Look how that turned out. Now he got hurt and something happened. But at the end of the day, they just took a quarterback because they thought that was the best person to take. And most of the time, those situations probably work out. They didn't need one. Like I wish your Bears had figured out and get us a quarterback at some point in time.
We're gonna talk with Ken Davis about the Bears.
I can't wait for Ken to talk about that. I'm just gonna sit here and listen to Ken.
Yeah,
I don't have nothing to say.
I mean, what can you say about that? So
hey, I told you and Maya, this all I'm going to say, and I'm making sure I'm saying going correctly because my daughter and my wife will clown me. You and Maya called this 3 months ago. Y'all said Pace and Nagy will still be with the Bears. They're still with the Bears. Everybody, I was watching First Take when they announced it. When they announced it, I can't think of my man name. Swagoo took his glass off. He was like, "What the hell are they doing? What the hell are they doing?" He said they just contradicted themselves in the press conference.
Yeah, what can you say? Well, we'll get to that later because I got an announcement to make regarding that too. So we'll say that for the 6:30 segment. So let's see what else we got going on here. Let's talk about our good buddy, James Wade, our good buddy, head coach and general manager of the Chicago Sky. He got a contract extension, a 4-year contract extension for our good friend, Coach James Wade. Congratulations to him. He is really turning the franchise around and propelling them forward. This year was such a crazy year. They had so many injuries and COVID cases and down there in the bubble, but they still had a pretty strong season until those injuries kind of caught up with him. But Coach Wade, he's got a 4-year contract extension. What's your thoughts on that?
He deserved the contract extension. Coach Wade did an excellent job, not only this year, but the previous year. He did an excellent job. He's probably one of the best late game coaches in the country. His late game play calls have been great, and he gets the best out of his players. If they wouldn't have had the injuries that they had this year, I think they would have made another run. So kudos, shout out to Coach Wade. He's doing an excellent job. And you could tell the players like him because they always playing hard for him. And he did it. He came into this season. They had injuries. He still had them playing until the stretch when they just couldn't overcome some of the injuries. But with that said, he did an excellent job.
Well, another thing that I noticed about James since I covered this guy this year, his players, they're not just saying politically correct stuff when they talk about him. They truly like that guy. They truly love playing for him. And I follow a lot of them on social media. They're constantly talking about Coach James and how big of an influence he is, and a lot of the social justice initiatives that the Sky did over the summer during the season. And they're just very happy to play for this guy. And they find him very knowledgeable as well. And Coach James has said he and his family have taken to Chicago a little bit, and he's really starting to like the city. So, I think it was a great move by the Sky. I think it shows some stability within the organization because, remember, he's not just the head coach. He's also the general manager. And that's not an easy task. And, to be a player's coach and the person who determines their money and their contract, I was like, whoa, this could be kind of dicey for Coach J, but he's been able to pull it off, man.
Coach did an excellent job. And when we had Sydney Colson on a couple of weeks ago, one thing she talked about was how good of a person he was also. And she not only said a good coach, she said a good person. So well-deserved for Coach. And I think he's doing an excellent job. Keep it up. There you go, name dropping. You had James Williams interview. Where's name dropping Joseph Phillips at? I mean,
James is off today. James is off today. He's a hard-working man. He's got the MLK holiday, so he will not be joining us today.
Jay, I bet. Where's the Bulls game at tonight? Where's they?
They're here. They're playing here. I think they're playing at the United Center against Houston.
So has he been going to the United Center watching games?
He has. He's got a fresh pass. I don't know if he's there today.
There you go. See, you slip. You always taking up for Maya Joseph. I'm not taking up for them. I bet you any amount of money he's at the Bulls game. And he's gonna come back next week, arena dropping. I was at the game. When I went, I talked to Kobe. I talked to Mark. I talked to Mo Cheeks and Billy D. He's not gonna call Coach Donovan Billy Donovan. He's gonna call Billy D, Coach Billy D. He stayed. Jay, you too nice.
Yeah, Jay. He's a busy guy. We appreciate when he can come on, but it is the MLK holiday. And speaking of that, have you been able to watch any of the games that have been taking place today?
No, not yet.
What?
That's it, Jay. I've been busy. I'm reading the Civil Rights Day. I'm reading public policy stuff.
Public
policies, because these policies have to change. Civil rights. It seems like we went 2 steps and take 2 steps backwards. So I'm reading about these public policies, Jay. Okay. I know you're doing all these stories, and I'm getting a little fed up around here. I'm tired of us being on the short end of the stick.
So wait a minute, now I'm intrigued. What public policy were you reading today?
Man, Jay, I'm reading all over. I'm reading about Jay. Ask you this. Why can I live where I live?
Yeah. Correct.
And I go 5 miles away. Their house is similar to my house. And their house worth like $50,000 more than mine.
Oh, redlining. That's what you so that's
I'm reading about all. I'm reading about everything.
So you're reading about redlining and the stuff that the banks have been doing to black people for decades and home values and
reading about everything.
That was a great story out. I think it was out last week, and it said how the homes in Chicago and black neighborhoods have been undervalued by like 89% or some ridiculous amount compared. So yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from.
I'm reading, Jay. I'm reading everything. They had me so mad. I was watching what is it? One Night in Miami. So, I was watching that. Did you think it was great? I thought it was good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was based off of some true events. It's not completely wholly true, but it was. You know what I liked about the movie? Sure. Because it really. One of my friends told me swords sharpen other swords, and that's true. Mm-hmm. And I think what you had was 4 swords in that room with Jim Brown, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Muhammad Ali. But it was really good to see how they all fed off of one another, how they all held each other accountable for their actions, and how they all inspired each other. And, it was good to see brothers do that. I mean, we do that a lot. You and I and other people, we bounce a lot of stuff off each other and hold each other accountable. So I think, it was a really important movie. So I enjoyed it. I'm not going to spoil it, but I just thought it was a really good movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, anytime you have those guys, people of that stature and knowledge in the same room, and like you said, you could bounce ideas off them. I bet you that was a great conversation too. And everybody didn't tell people what they wanted to hear; they told them what they needed to hear.
There you go. So there you
go. That's all I'm gonna say. But I enjoyed watching the movie.
Yeah, sometimes you got to shoot straight from the hip. And then our final news announced of this segment: our White Sox went out and signed the best available closer, arguably the best closer in the league, Liam Hendricks, who last year pitched for the Oakland A's. He has joined the White Sox. He will be our closer this year. Pitchers and catchers report in about a month, Lance. Baseball coming back here. Pitchers and catchers report in a month, and then spring training around the 1st of March. But the White Sox went out and made a big move. I think our squad, I think they're going for it this year, Lance.
Man, they got to. I mean, how many years they give him, Jay? Was it 3 years, like $54 million?
Yeah, I want to say it was 3. It may have been 4, but I think it was a 3.
Hey, he's been a beast closing these games out. So now you have a closer. I mean, they brought in Lance Lynn. I mean, they traded away Maya's favorite pitcher, though. They lost Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning. But, now let me leave Maya alone before she jump on the screen. So, I mean, seems like we dare to make a run. I mean, I thought we needed to sure up, at least get our bullpen better. I think we all could agree with that. We thought our pitching needed some work. But with that being said, I mean, Jay, we spending money like we trying to do some stuff. So with that being said, let's see.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, they got rid of Nomar Mazar. That was an addition by subtraction. I was cool with that. They signed Adam Eaton, which I'm a little iffy about.
Why you say that?
Because first of all, he's up in age, and second of all, Adam has been known to be a clubhouse cancer. And
I didn't know that.
I got the feeling he say the wrong thing to Tim Anderson, he gonna get his ass whooped. So I just see that kind of happening. But we'll see. But Liam Hendricks signs, and White Sox got the best closer that was available on the market, and they've done a lot of stuff.
You know what? Didn't they make some international signings too? Was it Cespedes?
They're trying to get Cespedes. I'm about to call this man a disease. Yolandi Cespedes is his cousin. It's like his younger cousin or whatever, who's supposed to be like the next big Cuban star coming out. Almost called him Septic, but Cespedes. So Cespedes, they're trying to get him on the international signing market. So, again, our White Sox, they're making some moves, man. They might make some moves, and we're going to talk about all this stuff with our first guest, Ken Davis. He is going to be coming up right after our first commercial break here.
Wait, Jason, I thought you said my man Joseph Phillips wasn't coming on tonight.
Joseph just jumped on. I had to figure a way to get him on the show. He like 30 minutes there. I thought he was at the MLK breakfast or something. But we'll find out. We may talk about Joseph.
Bring them both on the show. Joseph trying to read a drop. I told you.
All right, coming up after this, Ken Davis and maybe Joseph Phillips.
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin and my kinky hair. See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
He was so inspiring.
He took chances.
He was so moving.
He lived daringly. He piled into those 39 years, a long life in terms of service.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a man of service, and his day shall be a day of service.
And we're asking people to do what Martin Luther King would do.
Use our own talent and skill to make a difference.
He inspired us in words.
Everybody can be great.
But he led us in deeds.
Because everybody can serve.
To honor him, let's do the same. Go to mlkday.gov and find out how to volunteer on Martin Luther King Day and beyond. This message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
With coronavirus still spreading, people at higher risk must take extra precautions. You're at higher risk if you are over 65 or if you have any serious underlying medical conditions like heart disease, chronic lung disease, diabetes, or if your immune system is compromised for any reason. If you're at higher risk, wash your hands frequently with soap and water for 20 seconds. Avoid touching your face. Disinfect frequently touched objects. And wash up after being in public spaces. And when it comes to social situations, less is better. Stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from other people. Better still, stay home if you can. If you're sick, please stay home and away from others. And if you think you've been exposed to the virus, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. In challenging times, the choices you make are critical. Please visit coronavirus.gov for more information.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach, Lance C. Irvin. And once again, that very important message about COVID. A lot of stuff is going on in the country right now, but this COVID is really ravaging Southern California. I got friends and family out there, but it really is around the country. We have to continue to be consistent. The vaccine is starting to roll out. We're trying to get a handle on this thing, and I know it's hard for everybody, but I'm tired of hearing about people who I know who have died from this virus and people who are getting sick. So just go ahead and please follow those CDC guidelines. We ask everyone to please do that. Lance, Joseph is here. Mr. Big Time is at the United Center, as I thought. I thought he was just taking a day off, but he's apparently ready to come on our show. So I think we should probably bring him on. What do you think?
I told you he was arena dropping. You don't listen to me. You know what? Why do I even do the show with you two?
Let's bring him on. He is a sports editor of the Chicago Crusader. He joins us every week. And now he is not at his house and he is not wearing one of his sweaters. Joseph Phillips, man, where the hell are you at?
I'm at the UC, man. I'm at the UC.
Why are you talking like you're in the public library?
Well, that's what it feels like. I'm in a press room. So I'm at the UC. I said I was going to report live from here before the game, but I got here like 6:28. I had to get through traffic.
What's up, cousin Joseph? How are you? I told him you was gonna come on the arena dropping. He didn't believe me. Go ahead.
Why y'all keep coming up? Yeah,
Go
look,
ahead,
man. Y'all done turned this arena out, man. Y'all done won city championships in here. Come on now. Y'all the arena droppers.
Go ahead and arena drop. What is Cousin Joseph working on, Jay?
I'm at the UC, man. Getting ready for this Bulls Rockets game.
Okay, and what are you working on? What are you? Yeah. Speak to Maurice Cheeks while you're there. We're trying to get him on the show. Yeah, might well be useful while you're there.
Mo Cheeks been pretty quiet. Mo Cheeks been pretty quiet. You know, he don't really say anything. Billy Donovan does all the talking.
Well, we can talk to us.
Tell Mo Cheeks my father loved him. Tell him Mr. Irvin loved him. See if we can get Mo on the show.
Yeah, get him on the show, man. Joseph, what you working on for Chicago Crusader this week?
Well, actually, I'm doing the Bears end of the year press conference. I'm going to feature story on that about the backwards and forth with McCaskey and the press. In addition to Ted Phillips, comments, a few of Ted Phillips' comments. Also, I wrote about the Bulls beating the Mavericks yesterday. A good game by Lauri Markkanen. Put up 29 points on 10 of 19 shooting. Hopefully, they can repeat the performance tonight. And I'll be writing about the Bulls Rockets. And last but not least, the Fighting Illini falling to Ohio State as E.J. Liddell. I guess he's from downstate Illinois. He's almost recruited by the Fighting Illini. Dropped 6 against them, and a big game for him.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, well, Joe, we appreciate you checking in from your secret location inside the United Center somewhere. So, since you're there, we need you to do 2 things. All right.
What's that?
Get Mo Cheeks on the show.
Mo Cheeks, okay.
And tell Zach LaVine to play some damn defense.
Oh no.
No, Joseph. No, you don't. Tell Zach to keep getting 30 a night. Because when you get 30 a night, that's why they bring in other players to play defense. He had 30 4 nights in a row. So he thought about playing defense the other night, and he only got 17. Tell Zach, no. They have players like me who they put on a roster to play defense. This young Valentine is there to play defense and get 10 a night, not Zach.
Right.
So we might be able to get Joseph to check in with us like around 7:45 before we go on. He can maybe give us an update live from. Might as well use him and get something out of him while he here.
Yeah, no problem.
I like that.
I give y'all some halftime updates. No problem.
All right, that'll work. All right, that's Joseph Phillips. We'll see him in about an hour.
All right, cuz.
All right, man, let's get our first guest on here. We appreciate him jumping on. He's got his own podcast, and it's a little bit of everything. It's sports, pop culture, it's politics, it's news, and stuff going on in the community. We love this guy. He's so passionate about Chicago sports, and we're just going to run through a lot of sports with him today. We want to talk about all our Chicago sports scene because he follows all of them. You can find him at That Davis Show. I think I got it right. Kenneth Davis, he's joining us. Ken, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Lance and Jason, man? How you brothers doing?
Oh, that's my man right there. What's up, cousin KD? I just sit back and listen today. Ooh,
it's been a minute, Lance, man. I haven't seen you in a minute, Lance, so happy holidays, man. Happy New Year, man.
Yeah, same to you. I appreciate it. I think last time we was on, was I on Sean's show with you?
You was on Sean's show. You was on Sean's show about a month and a half ago.
I'm happy to have you.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just BS. No,
hey, Kim, man, we got a lot to talk to you about. We got about 20 minutes, so we're gonna try to run through them as fast as we can. So, all right. So we got several topics we can talk to you about. We can talk to you about the Bulls. We can talk to you about the White Sox. We can talk to you about the Bears. Your choice. Which one you want to talk about first?
You know what? Let's do the Sox first.
All right, let's do Sox. All right, so White Sox signed Liam Hendriks, have made a number of offseason moves. What are your thoughts so far on what our Chicago White Sox have done?
You know, my thought is because you had Tony La Russa come out like about 2 or 3 weeks ago that basically said he wanted somebody to be the closer and the end game guy, and that he didn't want to mess around with it. Even though the Sox got a lot of nice arms in that bullpen, you wouldn't have been super upset if they tried to see Humber or somebody try to fit in that role. But to leave them in their slot and not change them up because some people can't switch up and become a closer, I like that. I mean, of course, we were upset with Tony La Russa getting that job, But I think one of the things we all thought was that since he's Jerry's friend, that the money will still be spent during a pandemic when, you know, a lot of organizations are making fiscal decisions, basically, and you can't necessarily be upset. So, man, Liam Hendriks, I mean, you got the best closer on the market. You know what I'm saying? It's a big deal, but I mean, we're not supposed to be thinking about year 4, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? So looking at that bullpen and that you have 3 legitimate starters to go with the kids instead of you trying to push one of the kids up into that 3rd slot, I'm happy. You made a joke about Adam Eden, though, and which was hilarious. I hope, and I saw him talking about how Serger and a couple other guys, I think like Morales, how they helped him transition and become more mature. Because as you imply here, when he was a Sox player, you know, he was a bit of an ass, you know what I'm saying, to say the least, you know what I'm saying? And it'd be good if he can come out there and just be a guy that can sit there and get on base. He's not doing as well as he used to, but he's getting older. And basically you're only looking at him to probably just hit righties anyway, because our guy Adam Engel's out there. So I'm happy with what the Sox are doing. I just hope that when the season starts, some of the stuff that we really didn't feel and like when they ended the season, that's hiring Tony La Russa, that the season picks up, and I'm not focusing on the fact that Tony La Russa is the manager in the dugout.
Well, let me ask you this, Katie. Jason basically said he was a locker room killer. Talking about Adam, do we need a locker room killer?
No,
it's a lot of young guys in that locker room now, and you know how cancerous, it's the word he used, the locker rooms can become or get. So, I mean, what are we getting here for fans like myself that's trying to understand this trade?
You know what? It kind of goes back to like what Dallas Keuchel implied at the end of the season when he made it seem like he was the main reason that the culture's changed. And I'm not saying he didn't bring something to the culture, because he did come from winning, and you're talking about guys who had not been in winning situations, from your leader in Jose till Tim Anderson, who hadn't been in winning situations. But this is still their culture. You're not going to come in here and wreck their shop, basically. I mean, I would even think, because I mean, it's not even like Adam East is getting a huge lump of money. I'll be honest with you, I would feel that if he came in there and was a disruption in that locker room, they would jettison his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily going to hurt you financially. You know, it's just going to hurt you because you had a spot that you thought you know what I'm saying. Especially you brought up Nomar Mazara earlier, Jason, and we know that was a failure. So you know that's where it would hurt you. But yeah, it's been proven that he's a jerk. It's like Jason's not lying. It's like it's bona fide. Like, I mean, you maybe got to remember before we got traded to the Sox from Arizona, Diamondback players was like, so long, thank goodness that you're out of there. Like, this has followed him for years. What was the third baseman that played for the Mets?
Todd Frazier.
Yeah, Todd Frazier wants to beat the crap out of him. Man, it's like Todd Frazier wants to put his hands on this man and just buke him to the nth degree. So no, he definitely could be a cancer. But I think one thing that we don't give these players props, and maybe there's a reason behind why we don't give these players props because of their backgrounds, that I think the main players of the Sox will be the ones to run this locker room, even over Tony La Russa for the most part.
So let me ask you, it's my final question about him. Is his productivity, like we say in coaching now, is his productivity worth his headache?
His on base has slipped, his average has slipped.
I'm hearing a lot of slippage.
He's getting
and they're paying him $6 million a year.
Yeah, but you know, in MLB, $6 million, that's really nothing in the MLB. I mean, listen, for me, it could change my life. For him, no, you know, I think for right now, if he can keep his trap shut, I think it's good, because he's still a guy that we know can hit and can get on base. And one thing that we've talked about on Mondays and Fridays with Jason and with Sean and Meyer, which I'm lucky enough to be on Mondays and Fridays, is the fact you don't want everybody to be the same. You don't, like we used to say that about I don't know why I'm blanking out now. What's the second baseman? For the Sox. No, the second baseman for the Sox. The little slappy.
Nick Madrigal.
Nick Madrigal. We talked about Nick Madrigal and the fact that it's cool that Nick Madrigal is a slappy hitter. He's not a guy that you're going to look to go out the park. You know what I'm saying? So I apply the same with Adam Eden. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got boppers. We need guys that can get on base and that can be brought in with these boppers. So it's cool. It's not a bad look. And again, I think they're strong enough that he won't disrupt their locker room.
Great point. Great
Sounds
point.
good. Sounds good.
Now, I got to ask you about my Chicago Bears. Jason is thirsty to talk about the Bears. What was that press conference they had bringing back Nagy and Ryan Pace? Ooh, I got confused. We had a good year. They did this. They did that. They did. What the hell were they talking about, KD? That's why I'm happy you on the show. What the hell was that?
You know what? I talked to JJ Stankovic this past week, and he was dumbfounded by some of the stuff Ted Phillips said first and foremost. All right, Ted Phillips came off real glib in that situation compared to the others. I'll say this, and this is my opinion. I do think some of it comes down. It's not even some of it. A lot of it comes down to financials. With nobody in the stadium, they don't want to sit there. Well, Pace has 1 year. Nagy has 2. I don't think they want to sit there and pay them to go away. But also, I think that one thing that George McCaskey kept saying was self-reflection. And my biggest question is that if you're saying that you're seeing a difference in Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace due to self-reflection, but what about yourself? Because if you can't self-reflect on yourself, how do you know to make the needed changes? And I don't think that, he actually knows. And I don't think George McCaskey is a terrible human being or a bad man, but I think he needs to move out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the toss out Ted Phillips camp. Not saying I want to keep Ted Phillips. I just think he's too entrenched for them necessarily to get rid of him. I think it's just a wish more than something that could actually happen. But I just think really the Bears don't know their nose from their backside to a lot of it. And we've grown up with. If you just think about how many years has it been since they have consistently gone to they haven't gone to the playoff consistently since I was in grade school. You know what I'm saying? Like in young grade school at that, like a youth, and it's just the proof is in the pudding when it comes to the Bears, unfortunately.
So can we hold on to Allen Robinson, or is Allen Robinson just going to wave us bye-bye? Because I will wave us bye-bye because you don't know who the quarterback is going to be next year. And he had a good year or two here now. It might be time to go for Allen Robinson.
If I was Allen Robinson, I would leave and find greener pastures with somebody consistently who can get me the ball, because I know that I'm at least, if I'm not tier A, I'm the top of tier B when it comes to receivers. And I want to make a name for myself to see if I can get in Canton going further. But I'll say this, money talks. And a lot of teams, due to the pandemic, aren't going to have money. I think the Bears have the 13th or 14th least amount as far as cap room. You have a team, Allen Robinson, it's funny, his old team, the Jaguars, have like $78 million with a rookie quarterbacks coming in. So you could look for that being a team that knows, how Allen Robinson is in the community, to perhaps be looking at bringing him back in there with the amount of money to ease the grease those skids for Trevor Lawrence. But let me ask you both this real quick. Signing Allen Robinson may stop you from being able to fix some other holes. All right. So are you going to sit there and extend Akeem Hicks? Are you going to sit there and extend Kyle Fuller? Because you need to get those cap numbers down. You know what I'm saying? Who are you going to release?
So,
you know what I'm saying? Bobby Massey seems like a guy. Go ahead, Jason.
So here's my thing. I think you have to Akeem Hicks, without him, that line is horrible.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You got to have him. And let's not forget, Goldman did choose to sit out this year because of COVID. So you get Goldman back. You extend Hicks, you're okay. You got to have a cornerback who can lock down somebody. So, yeah, I would definitely sign them before I signed a wide receiver. Not that Allen Robinson doesn't deserve the money, not that he's not great. I just think you have too many other holes on this team you have to fix. On the offensive line, you got to fix those holes, and you got to maintain what you have on defense, because they may only have another year or two left of being able to. So, I'll let Lance answer, but those are my thoughts on it.
It's kind of hard because I like Robinson. But at the end of the day, the defense is getting a little bit older. So I got to keep Hicks. You have to keep Hicks. You have Mooney out there. I like Robinson, but it's a tough situation. In a lockdown corner, the way these people throwing these days, if you don't have a corner, now you really, really struggling. So, it's almost like I said, I'm waving Robinson.
It's unfortunate. And listen, Darnell Mooney had a really nice year from where he was drafted, but I don't think we look at him as being a number one. I look at him as being a dope number two, and at times supplanting that number one throughout the game by his performance. But going into a season, especially how slight he is, that's asking a lot of a young man. So look, either through free agency, you can find someone cheaper than Allen Robinson, or you would probably have to do this anyway, or look perhaps in the second round and try and go out there and get you a decent receiver. Now, rookie receivers, that's a hard position necessarily to come in the league and be successful. People have been more successful now compared to when we were younger because the offenses are a lot more similar to these college offenses. But still, I don't know. I would like for Allen Robinson to stay here. But if you told me that one of those players had to go, I will probably lean towards Allen Robinson being the player that has to go because it's easier to find someone that can do what he does in this league that is pass happy in the first place.
I agree. And our final football comment, I will make an announcement here on the show after I talked to Maya. She gave me permission to do it.
Are we trading for Deshaun Watson? Are we getting Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, we wish. So she'll post the image up to help with my announcement, but I can't take the Bears no more, y'all. I'm sorry. It's been 50 years, and I've been watching the same dumbass moves for 50 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm a pretty faithful guy. I'm pretty loyal in everything I do. My friends, my marriage, my schools, my Boy Scout and everything. I'm loyal, but I'm not going to be in a disrespectful relationship either. Now, you pushing it. So after talking with Maya, I consulted with her and got her approval because I know she goes on this. I am committing sports adultery, and I have picked up a side piece NFL team. I am now a Miami Dolphins fan.
That'll work.
I have not kicked the Bears completely to the curb. They still my main boo. But damn it, I gotta get some action on the side. So I am going with the Miami Dolphins. The weather is great. They got cheerleaders. They got a black head coach. They got a black general.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the brothers down in Miami.
Can you do me a favor then? It's just you all in Miami. You and Mike clapping. Hercules.
Yes.
Send me Tua for Mitch then. Do me a favor.
What?
Send me Tua for Mitch.
Now why you trying to come mess with my side piece and mess up my team?
Come on. Y'all don't need Tua. Just send me Tua. That's all I'm asking for.
Jason, great
pick. Take that look off your face, Katie.
Jason, great pick. Not to mention Miami's one of the few teams that has a lot of minority ownership. Serena, Jennifer Lopez, listing. Great pick for lots of different reasons. I like it.
Thank you, Maya. So
Maya, why you giving in to this buffoonery? Listening to him, Maya.
Wait, it's no secret. I am a supporter of the side team.
She is.
Me and the Vegas Knights been hanging out since the beginning. They came on the scene. Like they was like the hot team.
I thought you was taking the Seattle Kraken.
First, dude, I'm about to make me a harem. What's wrong with you? I can do this. I can do whatever I want to do. I'm out there. I'm doing it. I'm just going with Seattle because the name is just too fly to let it go. Look.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you're going to be a Chicago fan, unless you're a White Sox fan, and I'm not saying this to be mean, it's going to be painful. It's been painful forever to be a Bears fan. Let's be honest. It really is.
Didn't we have side boos growing up? Like the 49ers were my side boo. Like we kind of always had with the Bears a side boo. It wouldn't.
Katie, what? Katie.
I'm just saying, Steve Young. Listen, Steve Young, he steals my heart, and Jerry Rice. All right, like those. And again, Joe Montana too, but like when Steve Young was Steve Young, the feeling was so exquisite. So no, dude, I'm fine with having a side piece. You don't put them ahead of your team.
That's right.
For the most part. Most part. Sometimes, because let me fully disclose something, and y'all can get mad.
After 12, they're your team. After 12 people.
After 12, no.
Your team then?
I was a huge Peyton Manning guy, right? I was a huge Peyton Manning guy.
Love Peyton Manning, yes.
I was fighting for him at the Capitol building, okay? A huge Peyton Manning guy. And listen, I'm sorry to tell y'all, because they didn't deserve it because Rex was their quarterback and you couldn't believe it. I was rooting for Peyton Manning. I'm just being honest with you. I was rooting for because Peyton needed that, baby. It would have been hard for Peyton to be a Peyton fan if he had one because he limped to the second one. So I'm just saying, I'm sorry.
Landscape. I'm with you. And actually, I'm back in the market for a new side team because the Vikings just aren't doing it for me anymore. So
side team in the division.
I gotta ask you guys.
Oh, Maya. You side teaming in the division.
Okay, wait. But there's a story to why I became a Vikings fan, like back in the 90s. Because when Denny Green was a coach, Denny Green's a Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So when he started coaching, that's one thing I never ever cheat on. I'm gonna be a Hawkeye no matter how bad they suck. I'm always like right there with him the whole time. That's the only time I don't cheat is when it comes to that. But when Denny Green became their head coach, well, he was a Hawkeye, so I was right there. And of course, that was Chris Connor, Randy Moss. I mean, come on.
Robert Smith. Jack,
Dude,
Randall. Like, it was.
Randall.
Listen,
it was
them too.
I'm just saying. So and it kind of just stuck with me along the way. But now I'm kind of in the market for a new team. So.
So first of all, I can't understand why my cousin is getting all self-righteous. Yeah.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
Me?
KD. Where are you from, KD?
I'm from the east side. And east side Inglewood's in the hundreds. I'm married about.
We don't go against the Bears if you're from the state. I can see the Hawks. I can see the Sox, the Cubs. You know what?
Rex Grossman.
Look, I'm up this one. I'll tell you. And thank you for the comment. I'm not a ride or die kind of chick. I'm like, where are we? I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, where are we going and why I gotta die? So I'm just gonna tell you that I'm not a ride or die kind of chick. So if you're not producing, I'm trying to figure out why I'm supposed to just hang around. I'm just trying to figure this out.
I'm cold. And it's a sense of disrespect. Just Jason, and I mentioned this during the year. It got to the point with the Bears that if something didn't happen, they was really just telling us we're all idiots. Yep. And when you keep telling me like you a dumbass, you gonna come back. It gets to the point where it's like I'm not here for you in this anymore. I feel the Sox are teetering like where it's like, listen, I cut you right. Like if you, especially with the tenor in the air right now, it's like, dude, I'm not riding with this right now. But like, so it kind of comes to that lens where. If you're constantly telling me I'm a dumbass because I'm going to come back, at what point am I going to say I'm going to break this relationship off?
And think about it.
What about the death do its part, man?
Not to the Bears.
Here's how this works. Me and the Bears are just in an open relationship. This is just how this is going to work right now. We're in an open relationship. We both know it. And the bottom line is that when you watch the Bills finally get it right, you watch the Browns finally get it right. Look at all these teams you've watched get it right. You keep asking yourself, can somebody explain to me how the Bears? First of all, just not drafting Mahomes and Watson right there. Everybody scratched their heads and said, this is a problem. And to be real honest, when Ted Phillips tried to make it seem like Mitch was a huge issue, I'm like, you're lying to yourself and everybody else because we know that's not the case. So I'm just sorry. Other teams have gotten better, but the Bears never get better, and that's the problem.
Well, and I don't know why y'all so shocked. I was a dude who's been advocating us bringing a whole second team to Chicago this year. So, I mean, give me a break. And Lance, you can't be sitting up here getting all self-righteous. You're a Detroit Pistons fan, man.
Oh, really?
Whoa!
You're not talking about me right
now.
No.
Well,
see, you guys jumping off
the bed.
Really? You're throwing all this shade, and you're a Pistons fan.
Bad boy. He bad boy for life. He
bad boy for life. But I'm not. I'm talking about you three right now.
You a whole op.
So Maya, just because your husband balanced the checkbook wrong a couple of years, 4 or 5 years in a row, you're gonna leave.
Look, that's not a couple of years. That's financial ruin. That's like a lifetime of poor money management. Okay, that's like saying you're always going to be a renter. You're never going to get to buy a new car. You don't really get to go on vacations. Your Christmas present sucks. Your birthday's present sucks. Look, no, you never get to have your favorite purse. Come on. You have to like really scrape your budget to get like a Manny and Petty done. That's the kind of relationship it is with the Bears. Real talk. Seriously.
Why am I subjecting myself to this? Katie, you should know better, Katie.
No, I was surprised to know you was a Bad Boys fan. That's
right.
Hard right there. That's hard right there. That's different.
I mean,
in the city of Chicago, that's different, bro.
Bring the pain.
Like that was for a second. I thought Jason said he was gonna be a Packers fan because there's so many of my Chicago people in Wisconsin that flipped, and it's like, whoa, son. Mind you, I don't dislike the Packers. Brett Favre beat it into me, and Aaron Rodgers kept it going. But that's enough. That's enough. When you said that you was he said you was a Detroit fan, but I know I got to go.
Wow, that's equally sacrilegious that you can.
That's hard. That's hard. Listen, it's funny. Real quick, I'll say this. I don't hate the Pistons as much as I used to. The Knicks kind of took that away from me. And seeing the Pistons lose for so long, it's kind of like whatever. But still, I never knew someone that in Chicago that was like, I'm a bad boy.
I
like
do.
That.
I know.
It's your blood too.
We whoop y'all butts.
Y'all? You hitting us with a y'all?
I know, right? Wow.
It's got to go commercial now.
Hey, man, leave me on the hot seat. I'm not going to the commercial like that. It's your fault. You cut off the show anyway.
Yeah, tell us where we can find your show at.
You can find that Davis Show and the Flipping Friends anywhere where you can find podcasts. Also, on YouTube at the YouTube channel. Always appreciate it. You guys have a good evening at my also.
You know what? I love when you jump on the show, but today you disappointed me.
Oh, no, bro. It happens sometiime, man. Can't make them all happy. I still love you, though. I'll see you Friday.
I'll see you Friday. We talking about committing adultery. We need to go to commercial break. Bye.
We finishing this Friday.
Compassion, noun. Sympathetic pity and concern for the sufferings or misfortunes of others. We're all born with it. It's in us. Don't believe me? When you hear a baby cry, something pulls at you. You want to ease that pain. You want to soothe that hurt. No one had to teach you that. It's called compassion, and it's in you. However, at some point you turned it off when it came
to me.
Me.
The cries of my soul have gone unheard, but today, you will hear me.
My heart has wailed a melody loud enough to shatter your ears, and you ignored me. But this week, you will hear me.
This body has beat the drums of anguish, only to be silenced. But this month, you will hear me.
This year,
this decade,
this century,
I will be heard. And
you will be the one to hear me.
And when I am finally heard,
show compassion.
Show compassion.
Show compassion.
Remember, it's in you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise. victory is won.
I want to say welcome back to Welcome Cuz, but I think I need to say amen first before I even say that. Amen. That's why I love Chicago. That's why I love Black Chicago, and I will always be Chicago no matter where I live. A lot of stuff going on in this country right now as we celebrate a man who tried to teach us how to love and be peaceful about it. But we got some people in our society who don't seem to get that message, but they going to figure it out real soon. Our second guest, we've been wanting to have this guy on for a while, and I know he's wanted to come on, and I said, Lance, I want him MLK Day because I know he understands a lot of stuff that's going on in society, and he's also a hell of a basketball coach, and he's been to that mountaintop in college basketball, and he can give us a lot of perspective here, so we really are glad to have him. He's currently the head coach at the University of Detroit Mercy. He was a former coach at Indiana University, been in the game a long time, a good friend of the Irvin family, and we are welcoming him to our show. Head coach Mike Davis. Coach Mike, what's up? Welcome to What's Up, Cuz.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That's my man right there. Mike, I'm happy to have you on. Always great to see you. And I couldn't think of a better person to have on for MLK Day. And I was talking to my cousin Jason a couple of weeks ago, and I said, man, we need to get Mike Davis on. I said, man, Mike is heavy. I said, Mike got me listening and reading and listening to this, reading this book, Mike. So I appreciate it. Thanks for having you on. You see how excited my cousin Jason. He's sitting there, he's chopping at the bit. But let me start off, Mike. I'm just gonna start off. Talk to me about what MLK Day means to you, because you've been through a lot, Mike. Alabama, you've been to Indiana, you've been to Chicago, you've been all over. You grew up in the 60s, right at the height of the civil rights. Can you talk to me about what this day means to you?
Well, it means everything for us. He was a great leader. He had a great plan for us, not just for when he was alive, but the plan is still going on. And like I told you before, we're not really focused on the plan, and the plan is the most important thing. Legacy. He was strong. I think our younger kids now don't understand the impact that he had in society. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about publicity. He gave his life to the movement, to the cause. That, to me, is the most important thing of it all. When someone gives their life to it, they don't want credit, they don't want money, they don't want fame, they don't want any of the things that some of the leaders now want. He just wanted us to be equal.
Well, Coach Mike, a lot of social justice issues and a lot of social justice reform is being led right now by our athletes. The movement kind of started this summer after the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. Just your personal thoughts on seeing so many young athletes, especially on the college level. We focused a lot on what the pros have done, but even on the college level, they're doing some stuff. Just your thoughts on what our young athletes are doing to try to move social justice initiatives forward.
I think first of all, we need, again, I keep saying this, I've been saying this all summer, what's the plan? We know there's injustice, but what can we do about it? And I think just even the coaching profession, I've talked about how the McDonald's All-Americans, we've only signed for like 9 in the last 20 years, less than 10% of the McDonald's All-Americans go play for black head coaches. Each sport and each walk of life need to have a plan to give us power. If you don't have power, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, it's going to continue to be the way it is. And so, and I've talked to Lance about this, we only have, 8 or 9 black head coaches in Power 5. And when it's the makeup of college basketball players, athletes, the black kids is playing in college sports is amazing. And so to only have 8 or 9, we need to get these kids to understand, these parents understand that, injustice is everywhere. So we have to have a plan in every walk of life to improve it and get the power that you need to be able to move it forward. If not, it's going to continue to be the same way, and you got what 95 black head coaches in the country. When you say that the best of the best of us don't come play for us, then we need to be on that level as well. But also, the more power you get, let's say we had 20, 25, 30 Power 5 coaches. They're gonna make $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year. Now we can build our communities up because we have the money and the power to be able to do something. And once you go into the community, you clean it up. There's a lot of things that you can do, but we have to understand the power that we have. We also have to understand the power that we don't use to get to where we need to get to.
I remember Mike talking to you, and for those of us that don't know, Mike coached at Texas Southern. Mike's been at Indiana, he's been at UAB, and now he's at U of D. And Mike, you've been all over the place. And we were talking about Texas Southern, and talk to me about how you were saying if we have people to give, help us with our facilities from the facility standpoint, then we can really make a move. I think we were talking about Deion Sanders and some of that also. And what you said to me about how people need to give to the facilities and stuff, that really, I would never, ever forget what you told me about that.
Well, first of all, they was, people saying, well, send the black kids to the black colleges. Well, first of all, we can't get them at the big schools. I think what Deion Sanders is going to do at Jackson State is going to be amazing because he has the power, he has the name, he has the reputation, and he has a vision. But instead of going, it's nothing wrong with going to black schools, but you can't compete against big time universities when you don't have the facilities that they have. We would go play at a school and in the SWAC and have to dress in a classroom, have to dress in a room that didn't have any restrooms in it, and now you got to go out and use the same restroom as someone else. And we need to get that money that we have and donate and build our universities, build those schools to where they can look the same as everyone else's. And so when you do that, that's when a parent will say, okay, I'll send my kid to Texas. I'll send my kid to Jackson State, a Southern, or Prairie View, wherever it may be. But you have to have the facilities. At the big Power 5 schools, they got training tables every night. They got apartments where the players live, and they got locker rooms and practice facilities and everything. So, for us to get to that point, we have to make sure that money is donated to the schools that need it and build those schools up. And now when you can build those schools up, you can get the players maybe, but again, we only have 9 Power 5 coaches right now, black coaches right now, and pretty soon it won't be 9 if the best of the best don't go play for those coaches.
Gotcha. Once again, we're being joined by Mike Davis, who is the head coach at Detroit Mercy. Coach, to talk a little bit more about the facilities, but not necessarily the facilities. It's also the services as well. That includes the tutors, the mental health aspect, for psychologists, sports psychologists. Those are also things you see at some of those larger schools that we don't see at some of the smaller schools as well. And that makes a big difference in your recruiting pitch. How do you overcome that when you're at a school who may not have the same level of facilities?
It's tough. It's really tough because as a coach, and Lance to understand this as well, as a coach, you have to do everything. You have to be involved in everything. And you have to really be creative, at that level. So I love Texas Southern because it gave me a chance to really work with young men that needed my services and needed my experience in life. But at the same time, Our academic people at Texas Southern worked their butts off. It was like do way more than what the normal person would do. They would roll their sleeves up and work. But the problem that you have from a resource standpoint, from a financial standpoint, they don't have the same playing field as everyone else. And I think the NCAA have so much money that I think they have some programs, but everybody needs to have the same programs when it comes to academic services, and the mental health services, and all of that, because we don't have in this world a job for Black college kids. When you go out in the real world, you competing against everyone from everywhere. So to be equipped and be ready, you have to be able to have some of those resources and some of those internships and some of those programs help them once they get out of college.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mike, you were the first African-American head coach at Indiana University. How did that feel? Did you have a lot of pressure knowing that you was the first African-American head coach at good old IU? Talk to me about that experience a little bit.
Well, first of all, replacing Coach Knight was pressure within itself because he was a legend. He still is a legend in the basketball world. He won national championships. He had undefeated teams, and there's nothing that you can do in Indiana from a basketball standpoint that he had to accomplish. To replace him, a no-name coach, only recognized probably from a basketball standpoint in Alabama, not nationally. And so, there was pressure. There was people that didn't understand, didn't want to ever understand, but I think they appreciate the things that I try to do now more than when I was there. So it was a great learning experience for me, great opportunity for me because, through your struggles, you grow. And if you don't ever go through struggles, then you don't know how to handle situations. And a lot of situations when I was there, I couldn't handle them at the time, but now I can help younger coaches get them to understand the big picture and what's really important. Because sometimes we make it about us, and sometimes we get sidetracked by certain things. And through my experience, I'm able to share things with the other coaches around the country to help them out. So I really appreciate that opportunity. And I really appreciate that struggle that I had to go through to be able to share, with people now.
Coach, let me ask you this, just in terms of the Indiana job, because when you're replacing a legend, I don't care who you are, it's never easy. And then you're doing it in a place where Indiana is basketball crazy, like Texas is football crazy. So you've got that element coming in. What was your thought process as you were going through the interview for the Indiana job, and then when they made you the offer? Like, did you talk to your family about it before you made the decision? Because that had to be one hell of a decision to make to try to replace, Bobby Knight.
Well, I was just naive of the whole deal. My main focus really was to keep the team together, keep Indiana basketball together. Because a lot of players were trying to transfer and leave, and if they would have, it'd have been devastating, for the program. Indiana would have gotten back to where it's supposed to be because it's a national name and a lot of exposure. But at that time, I didn't think that the players was there should have left and gone anywhere else and just stayed and fought through it. And, you go to Indiana for Coach Knight. A manager there just to be under him, to be able to get a head coaching job or maybe another job on Wall Street or wherever it may be, just because you've been under his tutor for like 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever it may be. So, it was difficult for me because I didn't realize the impact around it until I got really involved in it, because I thought people would be happy about, keeping the program, keeping the players, and, competing at a high level, just having a team. I didn't expect to be named the head coach permanently after that. I was hoping to get a job somewhere else. I just wanted to do that for 1 year. And so we ended up winning 20 games at Indiana, and they named me the permanent head coach. And so same time, behind the scenes, there still was a lot of struggle with me even being the coach after they named me. So One day I'll write a book about it and tell all
That's what we want.
things about it. But again, just being there and the pressure that was on my family and the things I had to go through. But, God had put me in a great situation for me personally. And, I heard a preacher say one time, if you told me when I was 5 years old that I would be here at the age of 40, then I couldn't sleep at night knowing, where I would be. And so I was excited from that standpoint, and it helped a lot of the young black kids. And I'm always happy when I hear black coaches say, "Hey man, I look up to you. I followed you. Followed your career. You handled that situation great." It makes me feel really, really good. Really appreciate it in the coaching profession, because sometimes when we're doing this, it get to be wins and losses, and you'll forget the impact that you have and the way people really feel about you sometimes, because if you don't win, food don't taste well, and you can't sleep because you're trying to get a win. But when someone say, "Hey coach, I followed you and I love the way you handle that situation. You're a good coach and you've been to the championship game. How did that feel?" That it makes me bounce back to, hey, it's more than wins and losses in this game. It's more about what I feel sometimes when I hear young guys and coaches say, "Hey, we really proud and appreciate what you've done for college basketball."
And the unique thing about that situation was, it was very public. Coach Knight's breakup with the university was a terrible breakup. It was very volatile. He was revving up the crowd outside. We would watch on TV like, what in the world is going on? I mean, how was your relationship with Coach Knight once you came in the replacement? Was there any relationship at all?
Well, we don't really have a relationship, but again, I didn't know Coach Knight before the job, and I respect him as a coach, respect what he did as a coach. He's one all the time, great college basketball coach. I just coached period in the game of basketball. But my focus was just, again, to make sure the players was in order, trying to get better as a coach, trying to get better as a person and as a father and all of that. And so, I just tried to lock in. It was really hard. It was really hard to stay focused. But I had really good people around me at Indiana that would always talk to me, share things with me, and kept me going. And my mom, she passed away years ago, but my grandfather was a preacher, and so that prayer line is always open. Always open, and they make me stay locked in and focused. And when you're growing up in a church and you hear all these stories and everything, and good always come on top, and good always, win at the end. But creating that testimony is tough sometimes. So it was definitely a challenge that I had. And when you try to prove yourself all the time, you realize it's not about proving anything other than doing what you do and working hard you can work, and and staying focused.
Man, Jay, and Mike not gonna say this, but I'm gonna say it for him. Jay, he goes to the national championship game in Indiana. National championship. Most people, you go to a national championship game, you're gonna get a multi-year deal, pay you a couple of million a year. I don't know, Mike. Hopefully they gave you a multi-year deal for a couple of million, but I know the answer. So I'm not even gonna say it. But at the end of the day, you're a better person for him, Mike. And the reason why I love Mike so much, Jay, like he said, he's always asking, what's the plan? What's the plan for us to be losing coaches, Mike, like we losing them these days at the rate we losing them? What should our plan be? Like, I mean, what you think our plan should be, Mike? How do we mobilize, if that's the correct word, for us to be around in the game longer?
Well, first of all, we got to get the product, and the product is the really good basketball players. And if you can't control the product, it is going to be hard to get power, and that's what these parents and the players and athletes, you take a knee, you wear the shirts, you do all the things that you think you're supposed to do. But, we need more black head coaches, guys like you, guys like Dennis Case, guys. And there's a lot of young guys out there that need to be in a situation where you can coach good players, that you can coach pros, and you can coach lottery picks and first picks. And until we understand that, we're never going to have power in basketball. Like it's never going to be there. That's the plan for me. I've talked about it. You heard me talk about it over and over and over again. It seemed to go ignored. It seemed to go. I mean, they're rushing the Capitol Center. I understand that. I understand the being upset about that. But we need power. We need power. And the NFL is hiring all these coaches, and NBA is hiring all the coaches, and we're not on the same page when it comes to understanding that you have the product. Take where you are in Chicago. How many really good players in Chicago that if they don't go to DePaul where Dave is, they go to this school, that school, where it becomes alumni. It becomes I get a job afterwards. It becomes everything except the commitment and sacrifice that needs to be made to uplift us. And it's like I told you before, what if we have 35, 40 Power 5 coaches, and then every black head coach put their money together, and we can create something like a Costco's or BJ's or Sounds, and put it in the community and build the community up, turn the hood back into a neighborhood, and get education for these kids and take it off to another level. But you need money, and you need power, and you need positions to do that. So very few of us want to sacrifice. I don't even think it's a sacrifice. I really don't, because like from the coaching standpoint, I can work just as hard as anybody else work. I can watch just as much film as anybody else watch. I can create. When they say, well, this guy made a pro, this guy made a pro, I feel like, my knowledge of the game and if you give me your full cooperation, I can put you to where you want to be from a basketball standpoint. But until we get that right, to me, the plan is come play for us. Come play for us, and a couple of guys in the NBA, Houston Rockets hired a coach, black coach, and guys leave. Those great players, and you look how many coaches in the NBA or in college basketball, and look who's playing, and people don't want to hear this, but at the same time, if you want power, have a product. Have a product that you can position, and have a product that can go out and you're not worried about winning or losing because you got pros on your team. So, we miss out on things sometimes, and we attack issues, and we do things sometimes that, okay, I'm not saying it's bad, but at the same time, the real issue is we don't have the product. And so if I'm an AD, why would I hire us if it's not important to hire us if that kid gonna go play for somebody anyway?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the missing piece of it. And we can ignore it if we want to, but at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is having a product.
I agree. Coach, we got to take a commercial. Is it okay if you come back after the commercial? Can we keep you for a few more minutes? I want to ask you about your family.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, cool. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Mike Davis, head men's basketball coach at Detroit Mercy. Stay tuned.
You see me.
You hear me.
Respect me.
Respect. Due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others.
We don't have to agree, but I deserve to be heard. I stand my ground. Respect me.
We don't have to be friends, but I deserve your civility. I stand my ground. Respect me.
You don't have to understand my culture, but I deserve to be authentically myself. I stand my ground. Respect me.
I stand in defiance of your need to make me less in order for you to feel adequate.
I stand aware that the America that you see and love today is a result of my free labor.
I stand
knowing that the contempt you have for me was not instigated by me, but perpetuated by the fear you have of me.
I stand surviving your many attempts to emasculate me. Indeed, I thrive despite it.
I stand realizing that you take many things from me, but I will not allow you to take my respect.
I am a man. I am a proud man.
I am a proud black man.
I am authentically, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man.
I am authentic, undisputedly, unapologetically a proud black man. I am authentically, undisputably, unapologetically a proud black man.
Respect me.
I have done more than enough to deserve it, and still you withhold it.
The bill is past due.
You owe me.
Respect me.
Respect me. Respect me.
Hey y'all, this is the grandfather, Tony Allen. Listen up, it's time to be first team all defense against the coronavirus. Here's a few tips. You gotta lay low, stay at home as much as possible, and please stay away from the crowds and gatherings. The more social distance from others, better for all. Even if you don't feel sick, stop the spread and play lockdown defense. Enjoy all the good Memphis restaurant food you want, but please make it takeout or delivery. If you feel sick, do not go to work or the store. And yes, I know you hear this a lot, but wash your hands. We're going to get through this, but we've got to work together like a team to make it happen. For more information on the coronavirus, go www.cdc.gov. And remember, first team all defense.
Welcome back to What's Up, Cuz. That's our guy, Tony Allen, Chicago native. Played in Memphis, and COVID is universal, so we talking about it in all parts of the country. We're joined again by Mike Davis, head coach of University of Detroit Mercy, for a few more minutes. Lance, you got a question for Coach Mike?
You know I do. Hey, Mike D, I got to tell you this. I'm going to give you a compliment. Like 2006, I think I was at SMU, and you was at UAB, right? Okay. So, I had the scout against UAB, Jay. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I thought I had the scout down pat. So I get there, have my nose, Jay. We doing a scout. Now, Mike has some killers on this team. Like, Mike won, 20 games, 4 years in a row at UAB. So I got the scout, Jay. So I come out there with the scout. I start calling out plays. Mike then changed all the plays on me. I said, what? So Coach Doherty, so we call a timeout. Coach Doherty looking at me. I said, Coach, he changed the play, so let's try this. We called timeout. Mike made another adjustment. I said, that guy down there can coach. Seriously, Mike, I never told you that. I was like, so Mike, where did you get your offense from? Where did you get your offensive style from? Because my man Herman Williams, who I call Uncle Williams, He told me he was a bad man in high school. Jay, my uncle, it's a guy by the name of Herman Williams. Herman Williams was one of the best high school coaches in Alabama history. So he told me he saw Mike Davis play his senior year 28 games. I think he said he saw Mike play 27 of the 28. He said Mike Davis could shoot that ball. So now I know why your offensive set's so good. Mike, talk to me about your offense. Because you got your son scoring 20 like I should have went to UAB. Maybe I could have scored 20. Matter of fact, I should have played for you. Nick Michael Byron should have came to play for you.
No, I believe if you can score, that you be the scorer. I don't believe in equal opportunity. But I really locked in on offense because most black coaches I knew always talked about defense, and I just wanted to be in control of the game offensively. So coaching the CBA, which is the G League now, is where I first got my start as being able to coach. And so really worked on a lot of offense, a lot of sets, studied a lot of sets, and I just love the offensive end of the game. I love it.
So you got a chance here now to coach with your son, who's part of your staff up there at Detroit Mercy. How did that happen, and how's it going?
Well, I may be the only coach in the country, I think, has a son playing and a son coaching. So it's great. It's great to be around them every day. It's great to see both of them grow as a player and as a coach. It's just because, a lot of times in life, you move on to your own world and you do your own thing. And I have both guys with me every day.
Hey, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Calvin Sampson mad at him because he's supposed to send his son to Houston, but Calvin Sampson mad at him. Now, see, so Calvin mad at him. But Mike, how many times did you beat Iowa when you was a coach in Indiana? Because our super producer went to Iowa, and she's always screaming Iowa, Iowa. So I told her when you was coming on, I said, I bet you Mike Davis whooped up on y'all. So normally she'd come out on the show and start talking Iowa crazy, but you must have beat Iowa pretty good because she's getting.
I don't remember. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I have no clue. I know they beat me in the championship. Not the championship game. Of the semifinals, the year we went to the Final Four, they beat me on the last second shot. But we ended up going to the Final Four and championship game that same year. So I don't remember how many times. I can't remember. I don't know if I even beat Iowa, to be honest with you.
Yes, you did, Mike.
If I think about it.
Mike, did you beat Iowa? Say Mike did beat y'all, Maya.
You can't force the man into saying something that doesn't exist, Lance. So stop trying to throw shade. First of all, he's a Pistons fan. Do you know that? So don't. So just accept it. So I'm going bye. Bye. Thank you for coming on the show, David. Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you another question real quick. Coaching with your son, that's one way you can help mentor young black coaches, obviously. But who mentored you and got you into coaching? Because not every great player can become a great coach. It's a completely different animal. Who were your mentors when you wanted to go into coaching?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of my mentors was just looking from afar. When I was, a mentor can be people that you don't really know personally. You just study up on them. But when I got into coaching, we had like John Thompson, those guys that was coaching. And again, you always look at the black coaches, how they worked and what they were saying. And so I didn't really have a mentor personally that I talked to. I had a more that I talked to, even AAU people, high school guys that you see and you talk to them because they're always giving you advice, I'm an old school guy now, but I wasn't an old school guy then. And all the old school guys always, it was just, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, blah, blah, blah. And so I didn't just have, I had tons of them. I didn't know, some I did know, and just listened to a lot of things they said. And, even now I watch guys now, I watch them and listen to the interviews, listen to how they handle things. I read up on them. And so, I think that's a lot of times we need to open our minds to grow from people sometimes, even if someone don't think that person's very good as a coach. Just listen, read up on them, study, and see what they're doing.
Hey, Hey, Mike, how is my man Tracy Dildy doing? I mean, you have a heck of a staff. If I didn't ask you about Tracy Dildy would call me. He would go off. Even though Nick sent me a text saying, make sure you have Mike tell everybody on TV how I beat him in spades. So I'm that's what Nick told me.
You know that's not true, but Tracy's doing great. You know, Tracy is well respected in the basketball world. Matter of fact, we was playing a game the other day, and one of the officials walked over and said, "Hey, Tracy, how you doing?" And so everybody know him. He's popular throughout the basketball world. He's been in for a long time. And I remember that spade game. It was in the hotel lobby. Tracy and I played. I don't think we lost the game.
Was it Nick and Walker?
I can't remember us losing the game. I can't remember. I know Nick and Antoine thought they was doing something, but we did it pretty easy, you
know. but Mike, my last question for you, and I want to thank you for this too. You told me about Dr. Claude Anderson.
Yeah.
And I've been looking and reading his stuff now since you turned me on to Dr. Claude Anderson. So I want to thank you for that. But my cousin that doesn't really know about Dr. Claude Anderson. So can you clue him in about Dr. Claude Anderson before you wave us good evening?
Powerful man that his name should be right up there with a lot of other people, a lot of other Black people that's well respected, very knowledgeable. I'm just embarrassed that I didn't know about him, long before this, because he's powerful and he has a plan. He has a legitimate plan, and he put up there with a lot of our other heroes and people that we admire and appreciate for their leadership. And it's a shame that every person don't know who he is.
Man, Jay, powerful book. Power Economics. Mike Davis turned me on to Dr. Claude Anderson, so I appreciate you, Mike. And how's the season going? I mean, how's the season going for you? I know you gave the guys a mental health a week off a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was huge, Mike.
It's a strange season. We didn't play our first game at Kentucky in the tournament, so we had to play a makeup game. This year you can kind of schedule games when you want to if you miss out on some games. Mm-hmm. And so we ended up playing Michigan State, Notre Dame, and Kent State 3 games in 5 days. And it took a toll on our guys. And then we came back and we won a game, and then we lost the first 2 conference games, and then we ended up playing a replacement game. We lost both games on the last second shot. And then we won the past 2 games this past weekend. So, and then we took a 10-day mental health. I just feel like our guys need to, be locked in and focused. And this virus is powerful. Mm-hmm. No name to just take anybody out that he wants to take out. And during that period, my son that plays for me, AAU coach, passed away from the virus. Then, Donnie passed away. Mm-hmm. Then another friend of mine that played high school basketball a couple of years ahead of me passed away. So it was like 3 people in a week that passed away. It was just devastating just to think about those people passed away from this virus. And, back in March and April when it first hit, we didn't know how powerful it was, and see people lose their lives every day. I know Chicago got over 100 deaths every day with it. Mm-hmm. So it's scary. And our guys, I'm telling you, we end up having a 10-day quarantine because one of my DAs had it, but it was good for their mind. Their minds are fresh. And, basketball is definitely important, but it's not way more important than what's going on in the world right now.
I agree. Coach Davis, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it. And please come back again and stay safe out there. Like you said, this is a season like none other. And I'm glad you all out there trying to play and everything, but I really want everybody to be safe, and that includes the coaches, the players, the referees, everybody. But thanks again for joining us, and take care up there in Detroit.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks, Lance.
All right. Mike Davis, everybody. All right. Hey, Lance, our cousin is back. He's I don't know, you gotta watch Joe. You gotta watch Joseph. He may have moved down to the first row. You know how it is. You know how we do when we go to games. Ain't nobody in the first row. Ooh, I'm gonna move down. I didn't buy this ticket. So let's check in with him. See if he's still in the press box or the closet, whatever he was.
It's an empty arena. He's on the bench, probably.
Yeah, he done moved. I told you he moved.
I'm up here like Van Black, man. I'm getting it all together.
What's the score,
Right now, the Bulls outscored the Rockets 28-16 in the first quarter. They're currently leading 34-23. Kobe White leading all scores with 7 points. They're looking good right now. They're playing great D, hustling on both ends of the floor. They're switching on their men. And actually, Daniel Gafford just got a big block, so it's looking good right now for the Bulls.
Has VO played for the Pacers yet? Victor?
Yes, he's actually out here. They're doing a great job on actually shooting a three right now. Just went through the bottom of the net.
VO. You got to tell your personnel. How's Larry Markkinen doing?
Laurie's a little off this game, but he's doing other things on the floor. Like playing great defense, moving the ball. Not turning the ball over.
Wow.
So Joseph, where have you moved to? You're obviously not in the press box now.
Yes, I'm in the press box, but they have it. Yeah, they have a designated spot for the press, along with the GMs, along with the TV broadcast guys. So I'm in Zone B, in the yellow zone. So I'm actually like 4 or 5 seats away from Benny the Bull.
Hey, Joe, seriously, how many people are they letting come to the Bulls game about? Is it like a few hundred?
Zero. Zero. Like Kobe White, no.
So no families, nothing, huh?
No families, no girlfriends, no groupies, nobody. This is a bad year for groupies.
There are no side pieces.
Hey, Jay, this is a bad year for groupies.
Wow.
I would never forget this show today.
Wow.
This show ever.
Okay, so then, Joe, so what type of view do you have? Are you like at one end of the court, or are you at center court? Damn, man, wait a minute. Wait a minute, those look like the tickets I buy, like $5.
Yeah, we can't get near the players.
Hey, that's why I'm a Pistons fan.
Hey, that's the $1 million seats. That's the $1 million seats down there. We up here in the beer area.
But at least
but they made sure we can't make any contact with the players. No contact.
So they literally like just let you in the building. That's basically what.
Well, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go through a process to get in the building. So
okay,
it's unfortunate, but we in the building. Everybody can't get in this building. That's not
we can't.
You will get arrested. You will get arrested.
I'm happy you're in there.
Right, we in the building.
So wait, Joe. So give us the process. So I can't believe we're taking the show here, but okay. So give us the process. So once you get at the building, do they just like immediately put you on the escalator?
Well, it's like the airport. Once you get in the building, you take your shoes off, your jacket off.
Are they temperature?
They go check it. They go check your temperature. You gotta have an app. You gotta have an app to follow your temperature with the COVID-19 app, and you make sure that temperature is changing over time. And then it's only like one person per year, so we can't even have a photographer in the game. So it's really like lockdown, man. It's kind of weird, but I'm kind of getting used to it. They actually got like cars on the court, but we'll never see the players. Everything is Zoom interviews. So that's just what it is right now until something changes. Until Lori Lightfoot changes the process.
Man, it sounded to me like y'all got better security than they had at the Capitol last week.
Yeah, it's a dog. It's a dog. As soon as you walk in the door, it's a dog waiting for you. A sniffing dog.
See?
So
and it's probably seriously, and it's probably certain bathrooms you can only use too, correct?
Yeah, as I said, the media is in zone B. We're in the yellow zone. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. We actually closer to the GM. We actually closer to AK and Mark Eversley than we are players. You know, we're actually not too far away from AK. I can see AK from right here, and Mark Eversley from right here.
All right. Well, that's Joseph Phillips. He's reporting from somewhere. We'll call it the United Center. I don't know how he's gonna get us a hookup with Doc Rivers because he's like 800 feet away. But
it has to be on Zoom. We'll have to set up something Zoom live.
Yeah, set something up. So there's our guy. I would call him on the spot, but he ain't really on the spot, but he's there.
I'm in the building. Joseph Phillips is in the building.
In the building.
In the gym. Shout out to my boy Jimmy. I love Jimmy. All right, Jordan, thanks a lot, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, peace out.
Lord have mercy. I don't know how he got it.
Hey, Jay, we have had a heck of a show. You, Maya, and Katie, y'all set it off today. Y'all set this thing off.
Oh, man. All right. So, I guess the last topic we can talk about a couple of things. The national championship game last week. Football national championship, Alabama. So I think I picked Alabama. I'm pretty sure Maya picked Alabama. Who'd you pick, Lance?
I had a side piece in that championship.
and like all side pieces, they eventually get found out, and you end up going somewhere else.
I can barely hold on to do the show now. You and mine have messed me up, and Katie for how many more minutes we got? Like 5 minutes. But
so
Alabama in that championship game showed you why.
Yeah,
they're on a different level than everyone else. And after you go, now he loses Steve Sarkisian, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets the job, and I'm hearing he's going out and gonna hire whatchamacallit from the Houston Texans that just got fired. I mean, what type of stuff is that?
Who's he gonna hire? Is that Romeo Crennel?
No, he was talking about who's that from the
yeah, I know you talking about. I can't think of his name right now. Yeah. The guy, the original guy got okay.
Y'all just messed me up because he used to be in college. Now you go from him to bringing in somebody with pro ties. That train just keeps rolling right on the tracks. I mean, he has pro after pro after pro. Everyone plays at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's never really much slippage. They're going to start the year probably number one again. But do you think they need to add more teams into the college football
playoff? Well, if can't nobody beat Alabama, they can add 20 teams. It ain't gonna matter. I mean, what's the point? I mean, Alabama's basically got a monopoly right now. You know, I hate to say it, but it's true. Hell, they ought to be investigated by Congress for operating a monopoly like Microsoft. You know, he does what he does. He's the best there is. He coaches his player. Here's the thing. You can have the talent, but the talent got to still perform.
Good point.
He get his guys performing, and that wide receiver, Devontae, our Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith is a beast, man. He's a beast, man. He was clearly the best player on that field. Now, you know, I'm a little worried about his size as he goes to the NFL. He's not the biggest dude. And, you know, college is one thing. You get to the NFL, you're playing with some grown men, dog. And, you know, so I'm worried. In matter of fact, he got hurt in the game. So, you know, I'm worried about his stature, but, you know, they'll put some meat on him. They'll put some meat on him, bone.
His route running is great. Like, he runs some great routes. So, like you said, they'll put some meat on him. I mean, but, you know, time will tell. But that train, Jay, I don't know who's best of the best. So with that being said, I mean, I thought The Ohio State University had a chance. I don't know if Fields was 100%, but in the words of Pop Service, when you step out on the field, you 100% or don't play. So I'm not sure he had his best game. But with that being said, though, Alabama, Big Chris Barmore, those guys right there, they came to play. So, I mean, wish it would have worked out better, but hopefully my boy TA get on the show. I'm tired of saying he get on the show, so I call him now again. Jay, he doesn't have no excuse. So maybe you could ask him some of those questions. But it's been a great game. But I don't know. But it's tough. I think they're gonna win it again next year.
Yeah, they definitely are definitely looking strong. I mean, I think it can happen. This year I've given everybody an asterisk who's won the championship because it's just been such a crazy kind of year with COVID and everything. So everybody's got an asterisk for me. But, even though I got to give Alabama an asterisk, I still don't think nobody was going to beat them this year, COVID or not. They just were that talented. So, congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide on winning the national championship in football last week, defeating Ohio State University. And I guess we'll finish up these last couple of minutes and talk about our Blackhawks.
We can't. Hey, we got to talk about the Blackhawks.
We got to. I don't know what we can say about them, but
0-3 Blackhawks. What is it? 0-3 now?
They 0-3. But okay, so I'm trying to have some levity as I look at this. You started off against the defending national champions.
Okay.
The defending Stanley Cup champions, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So the first two games in Tampa. So I wasn't expecting us to win. We got our asses whooped like I expected. Yesterday, you played against your old former coach, Joe Quinville, Florida Panthers. Panthers still a better team than Blackhawks. They 0-3. They play Florida again tomorrow, then they come home finally, and they'll play against Detroit. I think when they play Detroit, it will be when they get their first win of the season. Here's the problem. We don't have a goaltender.
Whoa.
Jonathan Taves is out probably for the year. Kirby Doc is probably out for the year. Alex Nylander is out probably for the year. So when 3 of your top 12 forwards are out, that's 25% of your forwards. I can't really expect you to do that, especially when you don't have a goaltender. Because Subban and Delia right now have not impressed me at all.
So Jay, it's because they didn't have a chance to play any exhibition games, you think, or?
Yeah, you can throw that in there too. But the bottom line is nobody got a chance to play an exhibition game. Hell, they lost to Florida yesterday, and that was Florida's first game, period. So, I mean, the Blackhawks at least had 2 games before they played Florida, and they still lost.
And you know what, Jay? When you lose starters,
yes,
when you lose 25% of your lineup of your team, like you said, that's huge. I mean, those guys, most of the time, they start for a region, and those 3 very good players. So now you filling in holes and putting people in places where they not used to being at this point in time. So you compound that with no exhibition season.
Mm-hmm.
There's different players, different lineups and stuff. It takes time. And then Jeremy got his new deal.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that, Mike. I'm sorry. I meant to put a photo of him up. Yeah, go ahead. What did he get? He got like a 3-year extension.
I thought it was 4. Was it 3?
It's 3 or 4.
At least 3. So I mean, this is the first year he's gonna be able to coach a full season now. It seems like. So I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
He did not deserve an extension, but okay. All right. We're giving away money now. Okay. All right. I guess that's what we're doing.
We'll say that for the next show, the next topic of the show.
I'll say this: the Blackhawks better be careful because now that I done started dipping my toe in the other NFL team, I might be joining Maya in Vegas talking about let's go Golden Knights in a minute.
Don't get started. I'm not getting started with you, Maya. Good day, good evening, good night. Thanks for joining us, God bless everybody.
So once again, thank you everybody for tuning in to What's Up, Cuz. We will be back again next week with more guests and my cousin Lance Irvin on behalf of our super producer Maya Kai. And thank you to everybody at Chicago Crusader newspaper. We'll see you next Monday. Happy MLK Day. Let's all try to love each other more. Let's all try to follow Dr. King's messages of peace. And everybody, let's hang in there. This could be a rough week in the country and the weeks after, but just hang in there. We'll get through this together. All right. Peace out.
God bless you.